Hello everyone, and let's start with our next component, which is example validator. Now, example validator is probably the most important component in the data validation pipeline. So let's go to the example validator documentation and then read what it does. So it says the example validator pipeline component identifies anomalies in the training and serving data, and it can detect different classes of anomalies in the data. It can perform some validity checks by comparing data statistics against the schema. It can detect training and serving skills. So training and serving skill is where there is some performance difference between the training and then the serving data. And then it can also detect data drift where the statistics of the data changes over time. Um, so um, it identifies any anomalies by comparing the data statistics and then computed by the statistics gen against the schema. So from reading this, you can see that the example validator uses um, the output of the schema gen component and also the output of the statistics gen component, and then it would emit some validation results, whether some anomalies were detected or not. So um, this is fairly simple. So let's go ahead and then use the example validator. So I'll just go ahead and then um, make another subheading here. Seems today my typing is not on point. So change to Markdown, and then as always we will just say from tfx.components import example validator, right? And so we say example validator equal to example validator. And as I said, it consumes the outputs of the statistics gen and also the outputs of the schema gen. So I say statistics equal to statistics gen dot outputs, and then statistics, and then my schema will be equal to schema gen dot outputs schema, and then as usual we say context dot run example validator, and then context dot show example validator, as you guessed, dot outputs, and what will be my key here, anomalies. So we can run this, and you can see our data is fairly okay. Between our training split and then our evaluation split, there are no anomalies found, right? So, and yeah, for natural language processing, we are not dealing with we are not really dealing with numerical data. So yeah, normally you wouldn't. These tests usually work with numerical data. We will look at examples of how to develop pipelines for different kinds of data later on in the series, maybe in the next coming weeks. Yeah, so if I go back to my folder, so you have the example validator folder here, you have anomalies, so you have the run, you have the split and train, and then you have some schema diff.pb file, which probably contains the results of the component run. So that's it for so we are done with the data validation component, and then the next component is data processing, which is probably, apart from model training, the data processing component is probably the most important here, one of the most important components. So we will look at how we can process data using TensorFlow in the next videos. So just keep watching.